All right, hi everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to answer something that's been popping up in the comments and in my last post. And this is regarding how to believe in your visualizations when you have a negative voice in your head, some constant negative chatter that is contrary to whatever it is you're trying to visualize and manifest into reality. And this is something that is essential to mastering if you're going to be manifesting your reality consciously. If you are not able to transcend the chatter in your head, well, essentially you're a slave to your mind, and it will be nearly impossible to consciously manifest your desired reality from that state of being, or that state of consciousness rather. So learning how to disengage from the chatter of your mind and find stillness within is a primary ingredient that lays the framework for you to visualize your ideal reality into existence. So today that's what we're going to talk about, and hopefully you can take away some pointers that you can implement into your life so that you can start mastering your mind a little bit better and start visualizing your way to living the reality you want to live. So I want you guys to imagine, I thought of this the other day, that you're a passenger on a flight. You're in an airplane, and you're sitting in your seat, and you notice that the turbulence on the plane starts getting a little bit intense, and this turbulence continues and it continues, and no one is saying anything. There's no seatbelt signs on. Everyone is silent. You look around, you realize that you're the only person on the plane, right? You thought that there was other people on the plane, but it was only you on the plane. So at that realization that there's no one else in this, back part of the plane, you get up out of your seat and you walk over up to the cockpit where the pilot would be sitting, and you knock on the door, but no one answers. So you're continuing to freak out, because there's no one in the back. There's no one to help you. So you decide, I need to go and talk to this pilot. So you decide to open the door. You press down on the lever on the door handle, and the door opens. The door is unlocked. And when you open the door to the cockpit, you realize there's no one flying the plane. The plane's just been on autopilot, and there's no destination typed into the plane. And you've just been flying around in the air for God knows how long, going to no destination, experiencing all this turbulence, and you've just been a passenger thinking that there's a pilot at the front of this plane flying the plane. And it wasn't until you decided to get up, walk down to the front of the plane, and open the door to the cockpit yourself that you realize that no one else is flying this plane. This plane has just been flying around on autopilot. Now, that's an analogy comparing how our thoughts work and how our mind works. You see, a lot of people on this planet, they're just passengers to their thoughts. They reside in their head. And when you reside in your head, what you find is there's a constant stream of thoughts that are bombarding you. right? And you think that there's someone who's responsible for those thoughts, right? You think there's a pilot, someone other than you is creating those thoughts. Well, when you meditate, what you do is you get yourself out of your head. You move into your heart center or your core, the core of your being, and you realize that you are the one who's projecting your own thoughts. You are actually the one who's doing it. Now, you may be doing it unconsciously or subconsciously. You project these thoughts, but it's actually you. These thoughts are being born from the core of your being, and that's what meditation is. It gives you that insight. You know, you get out of your head temporarily, you move down from your head to your heart center, to the core of your being. You put your focus and attention to the core of the essence of you, which is a place of stillness. And you realize that the thoughts are being born out of the stillness that you are. They come out, they arise, and they fall back into the stillness. And you are the stillness. You are the formlessness behind the form. And the form's being born from the formlessness. So if you were to be encountered with, that scenario of the plane, what would you do? You'd probably sit down in the pilot's seat and try to contact someone, right? Find a radio or someone, you would take control. You'd call in on the radio, hey, I'm in this plane, I'm by myself, I need some help, right? Or maybe you'd start looking around for a manual or something, and maybe there's an autopilot feature that allows you to punch in a destination, and you'd punch in a destination. You'd find the nearest airport and you'd punch in that destination, right? But you'd take command, you'd take control of where the plane is heading, so you can, get out. So you can land that plane. So that's why meditation is so crucial. Going into the stillness is so vital, because when we go into the stillness, we realize that, we're not the victims of this voice in our head. There's this voice that's just constantly bombarding us, all this chatter that's constantly bombarding us, but rather, we're the ones who are projecting that voice, and we're doing it unconsciously. And when we meditate, we can get out of our head, we can move into our heart, we can find the stillness within us, and we can see that the thoughts and the voice is coming out from that stillness. When you can catch that voice coming up from the stillness within you, right at the moment that it arises, well, you'll find that the life of those thoughts, the life of that voice, is shortened. And as you shorten the life of those thoughts and that voice, you return back to your center. When you return back to your center, you realize that you have greater command and control over what that voice says and the images that you entertain. So again, that's why stillness, going into the silence, finding inner stillness and silence is so vital and important to being a master at manifestation. And I talk about another concept, another model of understanding on this channel a lot. And, it's a way of looking at manifestation that really has helped me, and maybe it can help you. And the model is that, every conceivable reality that has ever existed is already done, and it's already complete. And really what we are these sort of travelers through the infinite. And we have our focus concentrated on a single reality right now. When you think about manifestation in this way, what you find is, you don't have to create any sort of reality. You don't have to believe in any sort of reality, but you have to put your focus on the reality that you desire. That's all that manifestation is when you think of it, is you're taking your focus out of one reality in your head and you're putting it onto another reality. A lot of us, we get so overwhelmed by thinking about how our present circumstances and situations in life are so contrary to the reality that we'd like to live. But if instead we stopped putting our focus and attention on, how contrary this reality is and how impossible it is, and we instead put our focus on just that end reality, we'd find that manifesting is not very difficult. Manifestation is simply a product of mastering your focus. So when you understand this, you'll find that all you really need to do is put your focus on the end reality. And if you can successfully do that, what you'll find is things start appearing in your physical reality that are reflective of where you've been putting your focus and attention. Everything that has to do with manifestation has to do with focus and attention. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, what am I putting my focus and attention on most of the time? What am I putting my focus and attention on most of the time? If you want to feel like if you want a reality rather, where you're wealthy and rich, you have to put your focus on you feeling like you have enough. And that's why gratitude is sort of this God frequency, right? Because when you're grateful for something, you feel like you have enough, right? If you want an abundant life, you have to put your focus on and attention on abundance. You should meditate on abundance. And when you go about your day, your focus and attention should be on abundance. Everything that you see in your reality, you're putting your focus on abundance. When you go to eat, you look at the abundance of grains of rice on your plate. Right? When you go to for a walk in the park, you look at the abundance of grass blades in the field. When you look up above the sky, you see the abundance of clouds above you. You see the abundant sky above you. You go for a walk in the ocean, walk by the ocean or on the beach. Take a second to look out into the water and you see just the grand abundance of water. See, when you put your focus on abundance, everything around you becomes filled with abundance. So that's why wealth and riches, it all starts internally when you start to feel like you have enough. Because, this is a realization that I had before. It's, hell is just a mental place where you feel like you never have enough. In other words, it's a place where you never feel satisfied. That's why you see a lot of people who have a lot of money. They get these jobs where they're making $200,000 per year. They're making a lot of money. They buy nice cars. They buy nice houses. Even, this applies to billionaires. They got everything. But when they get something, they feel like they never have enough. So even though materially, externally, they appear as though they're rich, they appear as though they're wealthy, and they're successful, if they reside mentally in a state where they feel like they don't have enough, well, they're broke, they're poor, right? So if you want to feel like you have enough money, or if you want to feel like, you have wealth or riches, you have to understand that that's just really a state of mind and focus. Put your focus on how you have enough. And you'll find that everything changes. And really, when you have an understanding of manifestation, you understand that manifestation is really really comes down to how you look at things. How you look at things. The lens by which you look at the world will determine what you manifest. So if I feel like I have enough, I feel like I have enough money, I feel like I have enough food, I feel like I have just so much abundance in my world. And when I wake up in the morning and I look out of my window and I see the clouds and I see the sky and I say, look at that abundance. And I go to make myself a smoothie in the morning and I look at the oat milk that I have and the berries and the banana and the chia seeds and just look at the abundance of everything that I have, and I put the smoothie together and it's like, oh my gosh, look at this abundance that I have. And I go to the bathroom and I turn the shower on and all this running water comes out and I say, look at the abundance of running water that's coming out of the shower. And you're constantly going through my day feeling like, man, look at this abundance that I have. I feel full. I feel like I have enough. So that's what heaven is. Heaven is feeling like right now in the present moment, you have enough, that this moment is enough. And that's when you feel like, you feel that fullness of life. It all starts with how you look at the world. On the flip side, hell is just constantly feeling like you don't have enough, feeling like you're unsatisfied with wherever you are in life, regardless of what you have externally. You may have everything externally. You see a lot of people who are famous or rich, and they have everything. They have the women, the cars, the money, the status, the fame. And a lot of them go crazy. They succumb to drug addiction, and they have to be they have to go to the hospital or psychiatric ward because they are victims of this mental hell of never being satisfied and never feeling like they have enough. So, that was a rather large tangent, but to go back to the original topic which we were discussing, how do we believe in our visualizations when we have constant chatter in our mind, negative chatter in our mind? The first thing I would say is to realize focus and attention is what will set you free. Okay? The second thing to do is to go into the stillness and to put your focus and attention on the formlessness within you. That means you're not putting your focus and attention on any form, but rather you're putting the focus and attention on the dimension of formlessness within you. You can only achieve that by going into the silence. Once you find internal silence, internal stillness, you realize that you are the one who's projecting the voice in your head. You're no longer the passenger in the plane flying around in the turbulence, not knowing where you're going, but rather you have walked up to the cockpit, you've opened the door, and you're sitting in the pilot seat now, and you're typing in a destination. So you must realize that you are the one who is actually in control of that voice that's being projected. And when you can master your mind and use your mind as a tool to manifest, rather than being the victim of the mind, blindly accepting the unconscious thoughts that you've been projecting, that's when you become free. That's when you can manifest whatever reality you desire. And like I said before, manifestation is not about creating anything. It's about mastering your focus and attention and putting your focus and attention on your end reality. And that's why it's so important to really be clear on what your end reality is. And then just put your focus and attention on it. Right? Put your focus and attention on it. So as an example, you want to manifest I don't know what would someone want to manifest. They want to manifest success in their career. First and foremost, to get to that place, you have to feel like you're successful right now. It's the only way. It's the only way to manifest success in your career. You have to feel like you're a successful person right now. If you don't, it's going to be nearly impossible to manifest success for yourself. So you got to put your attention and focus on success, if that's what you want to manifest in your life. And you got to feel like I am a successful person. And that's where your focus and attention has to be placed on. So if you start putting your focus on success, you start defining, what does success even mean to me? Well, success might mean something different to me than it does to you. Success for me might mean giving something of value to other people, staying true to my authentic self, pursuing the things that make me feel most alive, doing the things that make me happy and that light my soul up. If I'm doing that, then I'm successful. Success for another person might be achieving some status at their university or getting the approval of other people. But for me personally, I'm not interested in that type of success. I'd rather focus on doing the things that make me happy. I'd rather be doing things that provide value to society, provide value to people who cross my path. That's what success is for me. So if I put my focus and attention on that for most of my waking day, then I'll see that success manifests outwardly. So now you kind of get the gist of it, of how you overcome that constant chatter in your head. When you find that you are straying far away from what you want to visualize or manifest, then that's your cue to return to focusing on your desired end reality. And if you're still having problem with that, you need to go into the stillness. And what I look at, going into the stillness as, or meditation as rather, I look at it as a sort of mental reset. Right? If I become unconscious, my focus and attention goes up into my head, and I'm just at the receiving end of all these thoughts that are being projected from my heart center up to my head. So I can't do anything from here. I can't do anything when all my focus and attention is in my head. But when I go into the stillness and when I meditate, what I'm doing, I'm taking my focus and attention out of my head. I'm bringing it down into my heart center. And then I'm putting my focus and attention onto the dimension of formlessness, where all things are born, where all thoughts are born, and where all thoughts dissolve back into. When I put my attention and my focus on that dimension within me, now I have ultimate control of what I can project. I can determine what comes out of the stillness. when I'm seated in the heart center. And the ironic thing is that if you successfully do this through meditation, if you successfully go into the stillness and you put your focus and attention on that dimension of formlessness within you, you will already feel like you have everything that you ever wanted. You will feel the fullness of life, because that's the place where all things are born and where all things die back into the formless dimension. That's what I'm talking about. When you actually come into contact with that dimension within yourself, you'll find that abundance and wealth and riches, they start to manifest externally without any seeming effort on your part, right? Everything starts to manifest. Love in your relationships, success in your career, abundance financially. It all takes care of itself when you find this dimension within you. So that is my answer for today. Remember that, instead of trying to use force, and here's just a final note that I want to make. A lot of people, they try to use force when it comes to their visualizations. You have to understand that visualizing is just an aid for you to enter a mental state. Okay? That's all it is. It's just a tool. And if the tool is not serving you, then you should abandon it. Okay? Move to something else. There's nothing wrong with persisting, though, through your visualizations, but you have to understand that your visualizing is just a tool. A lot of people, they try to force themselves to visualize themselves successful or rich or wealthy or whatever. And as a result, putting all this force into this visualization just makes them feel empty inside, really. That's all it is, because they're trying to change their reality from their head. But what I'm telling you here is you got to get down into your heart center. When you're there, you have ultimate control, and you'll find that things sort of effortlessly happen for you when you're seated in your heart center anyway. So that's that. Just remember, guys, that the model of manifestation that will probably most help you in manifesting things is to realize that every reality is already created, it's already done. And through your focus and attention on a specific, specified, defined reality, when you put your focus and attention on a defined reality that you define for yourself, that reality will manifest. The longer you persist on focusing on that reality, the more likely it is to manifest and become real in your external world. All right, well, the camera just shut off on me, so this is a good place to wrap it up. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for continuing to listen to the videos and, working on bettering your life, your manifestation skills, and becoming more conscious, taking control of your life, being a responsible adult, learning how to master your mind, making, meditation and manifestation a part of your life. This is a very courageous journey that you are all embarking on. And as you see that when you master your focus and attention, you master your life. That's really what it comes down to. So thank you guys so much. If you have any more questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll make a video about that. I'm happy to do it. Much love. See you in the next one. Bye.